Hi everyone, my name is Dinah. I'm your Snapask tutor for general paper. So based on what we have covered, let's attempt the first example together. So you do need to differentiate the points that are main and also sub, right? So differentiate your main themes and your sub-themes in the following question. So take a moment to ponder through the question and I will go through the answers in a bit. Alright, so as recap, how do you differentiate the main theme and the sub-theme? So if I were to draw it out for you, the main theme would be a very broad category. Under the main theme, you could have various sub-themes pertaining to the main theme. So you could have sub-theme 1, sub-theme 2, and sub-theme 3. Okay, so let's take this example as reference. So consider the view that movies pose no benefits other than a temporal respite from reality. So what is the main theme and what is the sub-theme? So in this case, the sub-theme would be movies, right? And where is this sub-theme from? This would actually be from media. So theme, media, and then the subtopic or the sub-theme would be movies. The reason why movies here is a sub-theme and not a main theme would be this. When you look back or when you refer to the diagram that I have drawn earlier, you realize that under the main theme, it can branch out to different types of media. So in this case, if media is the main theme, the first sub-theme could be talking about movies, as in this case. The second one could be talking about print media in another question. And another one could also be talking about video games. So you see, the main theme can actually branch out to many different or smaller sub-themes. And so because this question is fairly specific, your entire essay must only be about movies and whether or not they have any other benefits, right? Aside from just an escape from reality. So movies are the main theme here. So in order to approach this question, what you can do is actually to consider characteristics of modern media, characteristics that makes films and movies, and map those over to your sub-theme, right? So you would have different characteristics that define media and you would have to pick up which of those actually apply to movies in order for you to craft your arguments, right? So that is why it is necessary for you to identify the correct main theme, because a main theme would have many points that you can pick and choose to map over into the sub-theme. So paper 2 will consist of non-fiction text. So you would have largely informative, argumentative, and persuasive pieces. So remember earlier on in the lesson, I've mentioned that you need to be knowledgeable in different fields and different subject matters for this paper. Alright, so you do realize that as you do more practices, there are a couple of topics that appear fairly regularly, but in different forms and also in different subsets. So some of these topics include sciences. You have philosophy. So philosophy, very common, a bit difficult, but it does come out from time to time. Philosophy. You have politics as well, fairly common. The arts, ethics, morals, and values. You have things like environment. So climate change, pollution, very common as well. Religion, one of those difficult topics, but it does appear. And finally, media. So you notice that the topics are very content heavy. So you do need prior knowledge in order for you to be able to really fully understand the text, right? So do read ahead of time these topics if you are able to, right? So the reason why these topics are fairly popular is because it gives you an allowance to show opposing views. So you have contending points, you have supporting points, right? That can be showcased in this topic. So that is why they have been chosen fairly regularly as well, right? So they serve to sway the audience's opinions using evidence that are drawn from real life examples. So you have real life experiences that the author might have gone through, experiences and also situations. And of course, you have things like reports, data, which are really, really good supporting evidence. All right, but that being said, it doesn't mean that your entire passage is going to sound like a journal article or a report. The writer would also try to inject himself into the writing to showcase, his point of view and what he feels about the topic at hand. So in order to do this, they actually utilize quite a bit of different writing techniques, something that might be very original or even something that is really recognizable in order to differentiate themselves from the other writers. So in order to create such storylines, they provide very vivid description and figurative language. So this is where you would have questions that require you to analyze the vocabulary as used in context. You need to deduce meaning and also to kind of figure out what is the objective or the purpose of very specific words and phrases that you see in the passage. Alright, so do take a minute to read through the text and I will go through the answers in a while. Okay, so for the first example, what you need to be doing is actually to utilize all the reading strategies that we have gone through in the beginning of the lesson, right? In order for you to extract really the key points from that excerpt that you see below. Right, so the first question, from the preamble, identify the main topic and also the key issues highlighted in the passage. So I'm going to just demarcate where I am supposed to be looking at just so I can focus on the text. So preamble refers to that information blurb right before your first paragraph, right here. Okay, so a couple of things to look out for in your preamble. Who is this written by? Whose perspective is this argument taking? So from here, you realize that this is from the point of view of a science teacher, and she is actually talking about whether the green curriculum should be introduced in schools to address climate change. So these are a couple of very important points because just from reading these three phrases alone, I can roughly have an idea of what the text is going to be about. Why are these three words really important? So let's look at the individual words separately. The first one, teacher, here. What you can get from this term alone is that she is someone who is very informed, right? She knows what she is talking about, so her arguments are unlikely to be very frivolous or something that only scratches the surface. Secondly, she is a science teacher, so she is definitely aware of the issue that she is talking about, which is climate change. So again, her arguments are probably going to be valid. Okay, so she's aware of what is happening. However, because she is a teacher, she might actually bring up points that favor the educators. So she might have some biased opinions about politicians or even parents as well, right? So you do have to take note as you're reading, are there any points that are biased, right? So she might favor educators. Okay. So what is the main topic that you get from this preamble. So the main topic is a very broad topic that kind of guides the rest of the passage along. So in this particular case, the main topic is the introduction of the green curriculum. So if you're not aware of what green curriculum is, break down your phrase. So green here can mean the environment, the climate, the natural world around you, and of course curriculum refers to schools. So put them together, it is the introduction of any education system that will help in changing the world around you, right? And also another key issue that you can kind of pick up from the preamble is that it has to be related to the topic of climate change. So climate change on its own is very, very big, right? There are a lot of subsets, a lot of other topics that fall under climate change. So as you're reading, do keep an open mind about every possible aspect that she may possibly bring out.